Well, here we go again. If you hear that screeching sound, it's just the sound of the whole of the American economy once again swerving wildly across the interstate at 100 miles an hour.
That
Big
if they
news
don't make
shaking
their
up the
iPhones
economy
in the U.S.,
today,
you're going to hit them with
and
a
it involves
25%
Donald Trump,
tariff.
trade wars,
tariff
and your
one
next
single-
iPhone potentially costing $3,500. Yep, you heard that right. Let's break down exactly what happened, what it means for you.
Mr. President, on Apple, you said this morning that if they don't make their iPhones in the U.S., you're going to hit them with a 25% tariff.
Right.
Do you have the power to tariff one single company? And why would you
No,
want to
it'll
hurt
be
an
more.
American company in that way?
It would be more. It would be also Samsung and anybody that makes that product. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair.
And what experts are already saying about it.
Donald Trump reignited our country's trade war today, making not one but two major and consequential announcements. On social media, Donald Trump recommended, to whom no one seems to know, sweeping 50% tariffs on the European Union, second
Today,
biggest trading
Trump
partner behind
reignited his
China.
trade war
The U.S.
by making not
exported
one,
more than
but two
$350
massive
billion
announcements
of goods
on
to the
social media.
27-nation bloc in
The
recent
first,
years
a
and
sweeping
imported
50% tariff
$550 billion
on the entire
worth of
European
goods.
Union
This morning,
starting
Republican
June
Congress
1st.
That
That's
some
right,
of the president's
a huge move that could hit
expectations and his
prices
demands
on everything
keep
from
shifting,
wine
which makes
to
it
cars.
difficult.
It is a shock to the system, given something NBC News has reported early on. Quote, the EU bloc is America's second biggest trading partner behind China. The U.S. exported more than $350 billion of goods to the 27-nation bloc in recent years and imported $550 billion worth of goods.
What's wild is how this announcement caught even members of Congress off guard. Listen to how Republican Congressman French Hill reacted when asked about it this morning.
In the language this morning, the president said that he was going to recommend a 50% tariff starting on June 1st. Who's he recommending that to? The Senate? Like, I mean, if it's not an emergency, if it's not a fentanyl situation, does he have the authority?
Recommending it to himself.
Yeah, I think his pitch is, you're not at the table, we need you at the table.
So Samsung
Now,
and
here's what
anybody
you
that
need
makes
to know.
that product. Otherwise,
No
it wouldn't
matter
be
what
fair.
Trump says
So anybody that
about
makes
other
that
countries
product,
paying
and that'll
these
start on,
tariffs,
I guess,
it's actually
the end of
American
June.
consumers like you and me who foot the bill. It's a tax, plain and simple, but it gets crazier. Trump's second announcement today
pool of
targeted
skilled
Apple
workers
directly.
with
He's
the
threatening
particular
a
skills needed to
25%
make
tariff
the iPhone in
unless Apple
numbers
moves
large enough to
iPhone
be able to make
production to
millions
the
of
US.
iPhones here
And
in the
get
United
this,
States.
if that
And
happens,
outside
experts
analysts
say
have
the iPhone
estimated
could cost you around $3,500.
We're at the he's recommending it to himself part of the Trump tariff story. Now, whether or not Trump has authority in this matter at all, the fact remains, as experts have repeated on this program and others over and over again, the cost of tariffs is eventually paid for and shouldered by the American consumers.
And it's not just
done by
Apple
the
in the
end of June. So
crosshairs.
if they make
Trump's
that
already
product,
hinting at
now,
similar tariffs
again,
for Samsung
when they build their
and other
plant
phone
here,
makers.
there's no
Meaning
tariff.
your next
So
phone,
they're
no
going to be
matter the
building
brand,
plants here.
could
But
cost
I had
way
an
more.
understanding with Tim.
It is a tax, which leads us to the second of Trump's big announcements today, again made on social media. He threatened Apple with a 25% tariff unless Apple starts producing iPhones in the U.S. In the course of making that threat, Trump suggested the tariff would, quote, be paid by Apple.
That
So what
he
should American
viewed this as a
consumers make of all
symbolic
this?
weakness. And so
Well,
back in
experts
February,
say
in order to
it's
mollify
hard
the
to know where
president,
the prices
Cook
will
announced
land
that
because the
Apple
rules
was
and
going to be
threats seem to
investing half a
change by the
trillion
hour.
dollars over the
But
next
one
4
thing's clear.
years
It's
in
the
building
average
up the U.S.
consumer
workforce,
who'll end up
in building
paying
new
more
U.S.
in the
plants, and
end.
moving semiconductors.
A strange thing to say from the man who's long maintained that tariffs are paid for by other countries. But again, neither's true. It's the consumer that pays. Targeting Apple in this manner would bump the price of an iPhone up to about $3,500. And consumers who might have considered another brand of phone should know. Just this afternoon, Trump suggested Samsung and other mobile companies could face a similar 25% tariff.
What do you think about these tariffs? Would you pay
No,
$3,500 for an
It would be
iPhone?
more. It would be also
Drop your thoughts
Samsung
in the
and
comments
anybody
below.
that makes
President
Hit
Trump
that like
warns
button
Apple,
if you
the
found this
company, that it
breakdown
could face a
helpful. And don't
25%
forget to
tariff,
subscribe
and
for
he
more
warns the
updates
European
on the
Union
latest
into
news
negotiations
that
with the
actually
European Union.
affects
President
your
Trump
wallet.
said talks
See
with the
you in the next
27-nation
video.
bloc